Me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and you saw me swapping motors on the rototiller. You didn't see was me finishing it off and testing it, but I'm going to show you the evidence. And you also didn't see me pulling the carburetor apart on this snowblower again. It did have water in it, just like I had suspected, but I had an issue with this trying to get it work because the output shaft on this 7.5 horsepower motor was bigger than the one on the 6 horse, and so pulleys would not interchange, and therefore the pulley that's on this one, on this motor, is bigger than the original one, and I had to do some tinkering around to find the right belt for it. And after trying a bunch of belts that I had, none of them either were too long or too short, I finally went to the parts store and I bought one that I thought would work. It was too short. Then I got another one, it was too long. And finally, the third time, we got one that's just right. So both of these pieces of equipment are done and ready to go. And I worked on these today so I could do what I'm going to do right now. We're going to go into the shop and I'm going to assemble the transmission for the Goofy Cart. That's what I'm planning on doing. Yes, sir, Bob, I am planning on doing that right after I show you the evidence of the rototiller working. I'm sure you would trust me if I told you that it worked. Obviously, I've got enough confidence to put it out front. But there you go. I tilled up that section there. I raked it off again afterwards. But yeah, that's the evidence. Oh, I left my shed open. Listen. Sounds like I got a woodpecker. Must be on the outside because I don't see him here on the inside. That's not good. See if I can climb over the fence and catch him without scaring him off. There he goes, up into the tree. Where was he picking? Those the spots where he was pecking? Possible. Well, yeah, well. So, anyway, let's get back into the shop and get started putting that Goofy Cart transmission together. Well, hi guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and we're here and we're getting started on reassembling the transmission for the Goofy Cart. And the first thing I have to do is replace the bearings in the output shaft. It comes out through the bottom. These are the new bearings that I'm putting in, 2 of them. They're a matched pair. And the reason I'm doing it is because one of the bearings, the bottom one here, fell apart when I was taking this apart originally. So I've got to drive these out and I'm going to put the new ones back in. And I think I need a bigger hammer. And I'm doing it over here as close as I can to the corner of my bench, table, whatever you want to call it, because that's where the leg is, so I get the most solid background. I'm using a 14mm socket, and you can see the bearing is coming out through the bottom. In fact, this one is just about there, I think. I can't see what you can see. Now I can. And one of them has come out. And I'll be saving this one for future reference because it's still usable. Although it's different than, oh man, I'm not liking that. Look at the difference between the old bearing and the new one. These are supposed to be direct replacements. Okay, I don't like the idea of just banging away on that. So I'm setting up my own little press here. Have this big huge C-clamp. And I'm pressing directly on the inside of the case. And I'll slide this down here so you can see the bottom as I screw this down in there. And there it is. Well, that's as far as we're going with that. I know I can hear somebody yelling, well, just use your vise, George. Well, it's not quite that simple. And I think, yeah, I've already impacted the one that was down in there. And that's what's keeping it from going any further. Now the issue is that I can't go any further with putting my thing back together because I need both of those bearings in before I can put that input shaft in, and that input shaft has to go in before I put my gears on top. So here we are. Another screeching halt. You can see my issue. This is the inside. My bearings aren't even close to this surface here, which is where the gear for the output shaft runs. Both of my bottom bearings are in there. Should have had 3 of them. Supposedly these were identical replacements for the 2 that I took out. Live and learn. Back to the drawing board.